Imagine waking up and not remembering the name of the person you just called. What if that's already happening to you and you don't even know it? In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through why those tiny slips might be a warning sign and how you can act before they turn into something that steals your independence. If you've ever forgotten a name, misplaced your keys, or repeated a story because the word slipped away, you're not alone. Millions of people over 60 notice these small lapses, but most can't tell if they're just part of normal aging or the first hint of something more serious. The good news is that many of the causes are hidden in the habits you practice every day, and they can be changed with simple steps.
Let's start by looking at the daily routines that silently drain your brain. Did you know that the coffee you sip every morning could be sabotaging your recall?
When you rely on caffeine spikes, your brain works in short bursts and then crashes, leaving the memory center, the hippocampus, underfed. Those crashes make it harder to store new information and retrieve old memories. A small swap: replace 1 cup with a glass of water and add a short walk after breakfast, keeps blood flowing to the brain and steadies the energy you need for clear thinking. Now think about what's on your plate. The next cause is more common than you think: what you eat. A diet heavy on processed sugars creates inflammation, which clouds the neural pathways that carry memories. You may notice you can't recall a word or you keep losing track of appointments. Adding a handful of berries or a few walnuts each day introduces natural antioxidants that protect brain cells. Changing just 1 meal a week already makes a noticeable difference. Here's the silent thief that never knocks on your door: lack of mental stimulation. When we stop challenging our mind, neural connections weaken and the brain trims away unused pathways. Simple things like forgetting the name of a familiar neighbor become more frequent. Pick a new hobby: crossword puzzles, learning a song on the piano, or even naming the colors of the sky each morning. Those tiny mental workouts keep the circuitry alive. The last 2 villains are stress and restless nights. Stress releases cortisol, which shrinks the hippocampus. Lack of deep sleep stops memory consolidation. You'll find yourself replaying the same story over and over because the brain never filed it properly. Create a calming bedtime ritual. Dim the lights, take 5 minutes for gentle breathing, and avoid screens an hour before sleep. A consistent routine lets your mind sort the day's events and store them for tomorrow. What do you think about these habits? Let me know in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up if it resonated with you. The scary part is that many ignore these signs until it's too late, but here's the most powerful truth: the brain remains plastic even after 60. Studies show that seniors who adopt just 3 of the habits we discussed improve recall by up to 30% in a month. It's not about miracle pills, it's about consistent, tiny actions that add up. Imagine being able to tell your grandchildren stories without hunting for the words. This is within reach if you start today. Remember, your daily routine, what you eat, keeping your mind active, and sleeping well are the 4 pillars that protect your memory. If you keep postponing these changes, the risk isn't just forgetting names, it's losing the independence that lets you enjoy life fully. If this is opening your eyes, hit the subscribe button and share the video with anyone you care about. Let's keep our minds sharp together. What do you think about these habits? Let me know in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up if it resonated with you. Now, let's take a moment to picture the life you want to keep living. Imagine waking up and feeling confident that the little things you need each day will be there when you reach for them. Picture yourself sitting at the kitchen table, a cup of tea in hand, while the grandchildren chatter around you, and you are able to join the conversation without scrambling for the right words. This vision is not a fantasy, it is a goal that many of us can reach with a few intentional changes. The truth is that memory is not a static, unchangeable part of our biology. It is a living network that thrives on activity, nourishment, and rest. When we neglect any of those pillars, the network begins to fray, and that is when the forgetfulness creeps in. The good news is that the brain is remarkably resilient even after 60, and it responds eagerly to the kind of care we are about to discuss. discuss. One of the most powerful tools we have is simply the habit of paying attention to how we move through our day. Small adjustments in the way we structure our routine can create a ripple effect that supports memory in ways we often overlook. For instance, try to anchor a mental task to an everyday action. When you brush your teeth in the morning, repeat a short phrase or a word you want to remember. The act of linking a routine with a mental cue creates a stronger pathway in the brain, making the information easier to retrieve later. Another simple yet effective practice is the art of storytelling. Our brains are wired to remember narratives better than isolated facts. Take a moment each evening to recount the highlights of your day, either out loud or in a journal. By framing the events as a story, you give the brain a structure that it can store more efficiently. Even if you feel you are repeating the same details, the process of retelling reinforces the memory trace and helps prevent it from fading. Let's also talk about the importance of social interaction. Conversation is a natural workout for the mind. Engaging with friends, family, or community groups provides a steady stream of mental stimulation and emotional support. When you share a laugh, discuss a current event, or simply listen to someone else's story, you are actively exercising the parts of the brain responsible for language, empathy, and memory consolidation. If you find yourself spending long periods alone, consider joining a local club, a book group, or even an online community where you can exchange ideas and stay mentally agile. Physical activity deserves its own spotlight because it directly influences the flow of blood and oxygen to the brain. You don't need to become a marathon runner. Even gentle movement can make a difference. A short walk around the neighborhood, a few minutes of stretching, or a light gardening session can boost circulation and release chemicals that support neural growth. The key is consistency. Aim for a routine that you can maintain without feeling pressured, and let your body and mind reap the benefits over time. Now, let's dive deeper into nutrition. Beyond the simple tip of adding berries or walnuts, think of your meals as fuel, not just for the body, but for the brain's intricate machinery. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel are essential building blocks for brain cells. If you don't eat fish regularly, consider a supplement derived from algae, which offers the same beneficial compounds without the fishy taste. Equally important are leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collard greens, which are rich in vitamins that protect against oxidative stress. Incorporating a colorful salad or a handful of sautéed greens into your lunch or dinner can provide a steady supply of antioxidants that safeguard memory pathways. Don't forget about the role of hydration. Dehydration, even in mild forms, can impair concentration and short-term recall. Make it a habit to sip water throughout the day and consider adding a slice of lemon or cucumber for a refreshing twist that encourages you to drink more. Spices can also play a surprising role. Turmeric, with its active compound curcumin, has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and reduce inflammation. Adding a pinch of turmeric to soups, stews, or smoothies may contribute to a calmer, clearer mind. Similarly, rosemary and sage have aromatic properties that have been linked to improved memory performance. Try brewing a herbal tea with these leaves or simply inhaling their scent during study or work sessions. Stress management is another cornerstone that we cannot overlook. While you may already be aware that chronic tension harms the brain, the practical steps to counteract it often remain unclear. One technique that many find helpful is the practice of mindful breathing. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a slow inhale through the nose, counting to 4. Hold the breath for a brief moment, then exhale gently through the mouth, counting to 6. Repeat this cycle for a few minutes each morning or before bedtime. This simple rhythm signals the nervous system to shift away from the fight or flight response and toward a state of calm, allowing the hippocampus to function more effectively. If you enjoy movement, consider integrating gentle yoga or Tai Chi into your weekly schedule. These practices combine physical motion, breath control, and meditative focus, creating a holistic approach to stress reduction. Even a brief session of 5 minutes can lower cortisol levels and improve sleep quality, which, as we discussed, is vital for memory consolidation. Speaking of sleep, let's explore a few more strategies to deepen its restorative power. First, establish a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. The brain thrives on regularity, and a predictable schedule reinforces the internal clock that governs hormone release and neural repair. Second, create a sanctuary for rest. Keep the bedroom cool, dim, and free of electronic devices that emit blue light. If you enjoy reading before sleep, choose a physical book with soft lighting rather than a screen. Third, consider a short pre-sleep ritual that signals the brain it is time to wind down. A warm cup of herbal tea, a brief gratitude journal, or listening to calming music can all serve as cues for the mind to transition into deep sleep. Now, let's address a common misconception that forgetting names or misplacing objects is an inevitable part of aging that cannot be altered. While it is true that certain changes occur naturally as we grow older, many of the memory slips we experience are actually the result of lifestyle factors that we can modify. By taking proactive steps now, you can slow down, halt, or even reverse many of these patterns. Consider a real-life example of a woman named Rosa who turned 75 last spring. She began noticing that she would walk into a room and instantly forget why she was there. At first, Rosa assumed this was simply getting old, but after a conversation with her doctor, she decided to implement a few of the habits we've discussed. She started a daily walk after breakfast, swapped sugary snacks for a handful of almonds, began a weekly puzzle club, and set a nightly routine that included a brief meditation. Within a few months, Rosa reported that she no longer misplaced her glasses as often, could recall her grandchildren's school projects without hesitation, and felt more confident navigating her daily tasks. Her story illustrates how small, consistent actions can add up to significant improvements in mental sharpness. Your own journey can be just as rewarding. Begin by choosing one area that feels most approachable right now. Perhaps you will start with a short walk each morning, or maybe you will replace an afternoon soda with a glass of water infused with berries. The key is to pick a habit you can sustain, then layer additional practices as each becomes part of your routine. Let's also talk about the power of community accountability. Sharing your goals with a trusted friend, family member, or even an online group can provide the encouragement you need to stay on track. When you tell someone, "I'm going to add a brain-boosting activity to my day," you create a subtle commitment that increases the likelihood of follow-through.
Moreover, hearing about others' successes can inspire you to keep moving forward, especially on days when motivation wanes.
If you ever feel discouraged, remember that setbacks are a natural part of any change process. Missing a day of exercise or indulging in a less healthy meal does not erase the progress you have made. Treat each moment as an opportunity to learn, adjust, and continue. The brain's plasticity means that every positive choice, no matter how small, contributes to strengthening those memory pathways. You might wonder how long it takes to notice real improvements. While each person's experience varies, many report feeling sharper within a few weeks of consistent effort. You may notice that you can recall a phone number more easily, or that the names of acquaintances stick in your mind longer. These signs are encouraging reminders that your brain is responding to the care you are providing. Now, let's revisit the 4 pillars that form the foundation of a resilient memory: daily habits, nutrition, mental stimulation, and restorative sleep. Each pillar supports the others, creating a balanced ecosystem for cognitive health. When one area is neglected, the whole system can become vulnerable. By viewing them as interconnected, you can design a holistic plan that addresses every aspect of brain wellness. Take a moment right now to reflect on which pillar feels strongest for you and which one might need the most attention. Write down a brief note, perhaps on a piece of paper or in a phone reminder, outlining one specific action you will take today. For example, I will drink a glass of water before lunch, or I will complete a crossword puzzle after dinner. By externalizing your intention, you give it a tangible form that can guide your behavior throughout the day. As we draw this conversation to a close, I want to leave you with a final heartfelt thought. Memory is more than just the ability to recall facts. It is the thread that weaves together our identity, our relationships, and our sense of purpose. Protecting it is an act of self-respect and love for those who share our lives. Every step you take toward nurturing your mind is a step toward preserving the richness of your experiences, the stories you cherish, and the independence you deserve. If any part of this discussion sparked a question, a memory, or a desire to try something new, please share it in the comments below. Your insight could be the catalyst that helps another viewer take that first brave step. And if you found value in these ideas, consider giving this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel reach more people who might benefit from this information. Before we part ways, I have one more invitation for you. If you feel ready to commit to making these changes, hit the subscribe button and join our community of lifelong learners.
By staying connected, you'll receive regular tips, encouragement, and new strategies to keep your mind vibrant and your life fulfilling.
Together, we can build a future where memory loss is not a silent thief, but a challenge we meet with knowledge, compassion, and action. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, the power to protect your memory lies in the choices you make today. Take that first step and let your brain thank you tomorrow.